Hey YouTube, it's Mark.
And Rocky.
And we are
This Cruise Life. Today we're coming to you to talk to you about the third XL class ship to come to Carnival Cruise Lines. We're talking all things Carnival Jubilee, so stick around.
Hey Rocky, fun fact.
Yeah?
Did you know that Jubilee, MS Jubilee, first launched for Carnival Cruise Lines in 1986?
That's a few years ago.
It's a few years ago. She was the second ship in the holiday class for Carnival Cruise Lines.
Right.
The most iconic or the most memorable ship in that class was likely the MS Holiday.
Yeah.
The Jubilee followed, and then the third ship in that class was the MS Celebration.
Well, isn't that interesting? The Celebration is already sailing.
And the Jubilee is coming next. And so Carnival, as part of their 50th birthday celebration, has decided to reuse some of their classic name ships to pay homage to the line's history.
Right. It started with the Mardi Gras.
The ship, when she launched originally in 1986, had 1,500 passengers as the capacity.
She's so tiny.
She was just a baby sailing for Carnival Cruise Lines.
But not at that time. She was not a baby for Carnival Cruise Lines.
She was not a baby at the time, right?
No.
They called her the Superliner. They were so excited about the Superliner. We actually have this amazing book that talks about the history of MS Jubilee, the first ship, or the first time when it sailed, and it is such a cool book.
It's fun to get lost in there.
The ship was built
in Kockums Varv in Malmö, Sweden.
She sailed with Carnival Cruise Lines for almost 20 years before actually being transferred over to sister P&O Cruises, where she sailed for about 7 years.
As the Pacific Sun?
As the Pacific Sun, and then her final
inaugural sailing was with the HNA Cruises, and she was renamed the Henna. Fun fact, the Jubilee was the only ship that actually had her whale tail funnel removed when she was transferred out of service. She was the only one of the holiday class ships.
Yes, which made it easier for her to make its way to P&O Cruise Lines and then eventually to HNA Cruise Lines as Henna.
Right.
Unfortunately, after a couple of years of losing money, HNA they went out of business, and so they laid the ship up for an eventual sale, but that sale sadly never came.
Never set sail for the ship ever again.
The sail never came, and she never set sail.
Right.
There's a lot of sailing.
There's a lot of sailing there. Yep. In 2017, she was sent to Along, India, which is a big shipbreaking yard.
We learned all about Along during the pandemic, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And unfortunately, that's where she met her fate.
As scrap metal. So rest in pieces, MS Jubilee. But not to fear.
No, not to fear. Carnival Jubilee makes a triumphant return December 23rd, 2023.
Super excited. As you mentioned, it's the third ship in the XL class.
Yep.
That's been announced so far for Carnival Cruise Lines.
Yep.
What's interesting about this ship, she wasn't destined for Carnival Cruise Lines.
Interestingly enough, this ship was originally going to go to AIDA Cruises. Carnival Cruise Lines was seeing such great sales and interest in the XL class ships that they decided they wanted to pull this ship and move it over to Carnival Cruise Lines.
Yeah, bring it over to the moneymaker for the line. Not that they aren't all moneymakers, but bring it on over to Carnival Cruise Line and increase that capacity. In 2016, they signed a contract with the shipyard to build 2 of these XL class ships for Carnival.
Yep.
And again, to Rocky's point, it was so successful that they said, let's add a third.
Right.
How do we add a third when we've already signed a contract? Oh, gee, we'll just steal one of our sisters.
Shift it over. It's fine. It's not like they're doing that with any other ships. Carnival Venezia and Carnival Firenze, we see you.
Coming over from the Costa brand, yes. So they signed the contract in 2016 with Meyer Turku to build these 2 ships, Mardi Gras, what you know as Mardi Gras, and Carnival Celebration. And then because this ship was built for AIDA Cruises, it's not built by Meyer Turku.
No, it's Meyer Werft.
It's built by Meyer Werft, so it's actually built at another facility. So again, to the same specifications of her sisters with some changes that we'll talk about, but interesting history of how Carnival Jubilee even came to be.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely interesting, and one of the things that we were curious about is what's the name going to be? They were starting this whole trend where they started with the Mardi Gras, the first ship in Carnival's fleet.
Do you remember where they revealed the Mardi Gras name?
Yes, it was on Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White. She did a whole reveal of the name Mardi Gras. It was kind of cool on primetime TV. And then the next ship they announced...
Carnival Celebration.
Carnival Celebration, paying homage to the 50 years of service that Carnival has been sailing.
Who announced that ship? Do you remember?
I don't.
Oh, Kathy Lee's daughter, Kathy Lee Gifford's daughter. You might remember Kathy Lee of If They Could See Me Now, I'd on a Fun Ship Cruise.
Woo!
So they had to pay homage to the 50th birthday and the celebration, Carnival Celebration.
Yes.
She's the goddaughter,
Yes,
godmother
yes.
Of the ship. And
Yeah.
so that was how they launched that ship.
There you go. So this third ship, we're like, there's got to be something cool that they're going to do.
Yep.
Well, we were thinking, is it going to be the Holiday?
I mean, that would have made sense, right? The third ship in the holiday, they had the celebration,
Right.
they had the Mardi Gras.
Right. Why not be the Holiday? Nope.
Nope.
They chose the Carnival Jubilee.
Which, great.
We're excited for it.
We like that. We like that name too.
Yeah.
In that announcement, Carnival Cruises also announced that she would be sailing year-round from her newest home port in Galveston, Texas.
Right.
So maybe that's where Jubilee comes from. The folks of Texas are celebrating the Jubilee.
You have to even do it with a Texas accent, I heard. Well, the interesting thing is the original Jubilee actually set sail from Galveston Port in 2002.
Well, then that's perfect.
I think
Jubilee.
it was in the writing.
It just makes sense. That's awesome.
On November 11th, 2021, the world finally learned the name of this brand new Excel-class ship, Carnival Jubilee. Just a couple short months later, on January 25th, 2022, they started to sell the voyages.
What's interesting is Mardi Gras had only been, this was coming out of the pandemic.
Right.
Mardi Gras had only been sailing for a couple of months yet. Carnival Celebration hadn't been launched.
Nope.
And they really didn't share a lot about Carnival Jubilee other than she would be sailing an inaugural out of Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton, England.
Like an 18-night inaugural out of Southampton.
Transatlantic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They announced that she would have 6 fun-filled zones, like Mardi Gras has the fun-filled zones, and that there would be several new-to-Jubilee firsts.
Right.
But really, the world didn't even really know Mardi Gras at this point, let alone
No.
Carnival Celebration, and now they've opened up sailings for this third
The
ship.
Jubilee, right. On March 18th, 2022, the first steel was cut for the Carnival Jubilee. Fantastic timing. It was within about 2 weeks or so of Carnival Cruise Line's 50th birthday.
How cool is that? And this maritime tradition officially signifies the start of construction of any new ship.
Yep.
There were a whole bunch of people there.
Yeah, there were. There were a bunch of dignitaries, both from Meyer Werft as well as from Carnival Cruise Lines. Yep. They were present at the factories in Papenburg, Germany.
They cut a little silhouette of the ship that everyone had the opportunity to sign.
How cool is that?
How neat is that? There was champagne, there was confetti. It was a big celebration because Carnival Jubilee was officially started.
Fun fact, every ship that's built has a number assigned to it by the shipbuilding yard. Those numbers are part of the coordinating sequence for all of the different pieces that come together to build the ship.
Send this to ship 717.
Correct. 717, what's that? That is Carnival Jubilee's call number. So as you are on any of the Excel class ships, when you look at Emerald Bistro's restaurant on board, you're going to see a set of numbers that follow the name. Those numbers are the ship's number in the yard.
So Carnival Jubilee, you're going to have Emerald's Bistro 717. When you see that number, that is so cool. When you see that number on the deck plan for Mardi Gras, Carnival Celebration, or Carnival Jubilee, those specific digits, that was the shipyard's unique identifier for the ship.
Yep. Oh, cool.
How literally cool. That's so cool.
A few months after the first steel is cut comes the next ceremony, and that is the keel laying ceremony.
There's so many ceremonies in a shipbuilding.
Why not? Let's celebrate the ship.
I love it. Or let's Jubilee the ship.
That's a weird one. So yeah, the keel laying ceremony included the president of Carnival Cruise Lines, Christine Duffy, as well as one of the presidents from Meyer Werft Shipbuilding
One of the
Yard.
directors.
Yeah. They came together and had this great celebration. They were wearing cowboy hats.
There was a cowboy cutout. I mean, really
Yes.
to pay, they were really playing up the Galveston, Texas. Yep.
Oh yeah, big time. And as part of that ceremony, they actually created the ship coins. They were giant coins that were built or designed, and they actually are pretty cool. They've got the original Jubilee in the foreground and the new Carnival Jubilee in the background.
Yep. And so at the Keel Lang, what they do is they place the first piece that's been built.
Yep.
So they cut the steel, they went off, they did some work, they built a piece, they put it into the dock, and they affixed those coins to the bottom of the ship. That's a maritime tradition. It signifies good luck for the building of that ship. When the ship is finally done, those coins come off. They go into a special compartment and are built
inside the ship.
Are built into the ship. They bring luck to the ship for the rest of her sailing career.
Yeah. So next time you're sailing on a cruise ship, see if you can locate the coins.
We like to do that sometimes. We found the coins on
Mardi Gras. Yes.
They were in an unfortunate spot.
They were. I don't know if we should share that.
Comment if you found the coins on Mardi Gras.
Have you found them?
Okay. After the Keel Lang ceremony,
we didn't hear anything about the Carnival Jubilee for probably 6 months.
Almost 6 months.
Yeah. December 9th, 2022, the unfortunate announcement was made by Meyer Werft Shipyards that Carnival Jubilee would be delayed.
Yes, so the shipyard said that due to logistics issues, supply chain issues, some issues that were carried over from COVID, that they would have to delay the delivery of the ship from October to late December, which meant the first 6 voyages, including that amazing inaugural transatlantic, they were all canceled.
Upon this announcement, Christine Duffy shared, "This is disappointing news, but with the notification from the shipyard, we are advising our guests as quickly as we can. We appreciate their understanding as we work to deliver another spectacular ship that will provide a vacation experience our guests deserve and will absolutely love."
Oh, we were heartbroken for those folks that were excited to get on the inaugural. Now, in all honesty, we were disappointed that the inaugural was 18 days because there was just no way with work schedules and life schedules that we were going to be able to get away. And so when the new sailing was announced, the new inaugural was announced, it was a week-long sailing.
It was.
Over the Christmas holiday, which makes it a whole lot easier to manage around vacation schedules.
Yes, indeed.
And so an opportunity presented itself.
Mark is officially sailing on the inaugural cruise of Carnival Jubilee.
I am so excited about joining another inaugural sailing. As you know, we did a lot of stuff with Carnival Venezia earlier this year, and it was truly one of the most memorable cruises I've been on. We're doing the inaugural at Firenze next year, in May of next year, and so we are just loving our inaugurals.
Yeah, so on January 9th, 2023, we pulled the trigger and officially got ourselves booked onto this inaugural sailing.
Yes.
Those coins are bringing some luck after all to this ship.
Thank you, ship coins.
On April 25th, 2023, there was a huge announcement that came out about the Carnival Jubilee, and we actually recorded a video about this information, actually.
Yes, oh my goodness. 2 new zones were announced for this ship. So if you remember in the initial announcement, there wasn't a lot shared, except for the fact that there would be some new-to-Jubilee firsts.
Right.
Like Carnival Celebration, who introduced 2 new zones, Carnival Jubilee did the same thing.
Absolutely. So here we've got, they really kind of went out the box here. I'm really excited about these 2. On deck 6 and 7, which is the lower promenade levels that guests use, you find the Currents, which is kind of this whole under the sea experience. It's really fun. They've got a bar there that takes place of fortune teller, that takes place of latitudes, which is called Dr. Inks or Inks PhD or Drinks. How fun.
How cute is that?
And over on the port side of the ship, Mardi Gras had Brass Magnolia. And then on Carnival Celebration, we had the Golden Jubilee. They're not going to name another venue on the Carnival Jubilee as the Golden Jubilee. So instead, keeping with the current theme, it is now called the Golden Mermaid.
Oh, how cute. And the renderings look absolutely gorgeous.
They do.
Okay, so also in this space, returning favorites, Emerald's Bistro
717.
And Carnival Kitchen.
That's correct. Also in the Currents, we have Alchemy. So glad to see that still coming back.
Carnival Cruise Line staple.
That's right.
As we make our way from the Currents up to the shores.
Oh, that's fun.
We take a 3-story staircase
Yes.
that is enclosed with
A school of fish.
swimming
Fun.
fish. Look at this mock-up from the ship. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
So we're going from under the sea
Yes, to the boardwalk.
to the shores, the boardwalk of the shores.
The boardwalk of the shores. So some familiar venues will be up here. However, they've changed the theming and the name, similar to what we saw in the celebration when it was introduced. We have Coastal Slice,
The new pizza place.
the new pizza place. Curious to see if they're going to have some new pizzas to try. We loved those unique pizzas from
Carnival Celebration. Yes.
from Miami Slice.
Yes.
Additionally, in this area, we've got
The deli kind of area.
Yeah.
We've got the deli, beach buns.
beach buns.
Cute.
That is
Remember,
cute.
you're on a boardwalk, you're on the shores, and so Beach Buns is in the place of Piazza Panini.
Yes.
On Mardi Gras, and then on
Deco Deli.
Deco Deli, that's right. So Beach Buns,
Beach buns.
where you're going to be able to get hot dogs and sandwiches and
Yeah, it sounds like
deli.
another refreshed menu iteration again, which I'm really excited about.
And if you're thirsty,
If you're thirsty, head on over to
The Marina Bar.
Marina Bar. Yep.
again, you're on the shore, you're on the boardwalk, you're on
Yep.
the shores. The theming looks absolutely gorgeous in both of these zones, and
Yep.
we can't wait to film and record and bring that to you.
Absolutely. Also in this area, you're still going to
that's
find
right.
Cucina del Capitano serving up your favorite Italian meals.
And if you're into seafood, Rudy's Sea Grill is there as well. We
Also.
are not seafood
Nope.
folks, so we've not enjoyed that venue.
Roughly a month after the announcement came from Carnival Cruise Lines about the currents and shores on Carnival Jubilee, we heard from the Port of Galveston.
And it was a big announcement from the port. They shared a $53 million
Wow.
enhancement to Terminal 25 to get ready to welcome the largest ship in Carnival Cruise Line's fleet, an Excel class ship. And
Yep.
so they've had to do a whole bunch of port updates, gangway updates.
Yes.
They had to do processing, the passenger processing updates to the terminal. You're going to welcome 6,000 passengers.
You gotta be ready.
You got to have a place for them. You got to be ready for them, as well as U.S. Customs had
Right.
additional security and safety measures that they had to implement as well. And so Galveston has been giving us regular updates in terms of their progress and the fact that they are on track to be ready for Carnival Jubilee on December 23rd.
Right. And recently they made an announcement about their VIP lounge.
Oh, that's right.
That's exciting stuff. It's a very large VIP lounge for all of you platinum sailors and diamond sailors and those traveling in suites. Just 2 years after the announcement of Carnival Jubilee, she was ready to hit the water and make her official debut. Carnival Jubilee made her way into the wet dock and we got to see her bow for the very first time.
And there was a pretty big surprise there.
There was a huge surprise. Everything's bigger in Texas, and this is no exception. There is a giant Texas star right there on the very front of her bow.
Christine Duffy talked about how this was to pay homage and recognize what an important port and what an important history that Galveston has for Carnival Cruise Line, and really a commitment that the cruise line has to the port of Galveston. Again, I've got goosebumps again. Really, really, really neat to see. There were some jokes online about, well, what are they going to do? Just paint it over when they reposition the ship? I think that Carnival Jubilee will enjoy a long time in the port of Galveston before we have to worry about that.
Yeah, I agree.
During the float out, there was a party that was sponsored by Carnival Cruise Line partner PepsiCo. It literally just looks like a Pepsi advertisement at the float out, which totally made me giggle.
Yes. And then a few days after that, she officially became a Carnival icon with her whale tail funnel.
Look at these cranes lowering the funnel down onto Carnival Jubilee. That funnel, as anyone who has sailed the seven seas knows, makes a Carnival cruise ship instantly recognizable.
Yes.
Carnival Jubilee, welcome to the family.
In anticipation of Carnival Jubilee's inaugural sailing, Carnival made a major announcement on August 14th to announce who their captain was going to be, who the chief engineer was, as well as the hotel director.
And just a little bit over a week later, they made the announcement that we had speculated in terms of the cruise director, Kendall Fire. If you've sailed with Kendall Fire, she is a Texas native, and she is proud of her Texas heritage. We predicted that it made sense for Carnival to launch the Jubilee with Kendall. She has sailed inaugurals. She was our cruise director on Mardi Gras, so she has experience with the Excel class ships. And so bringing this ship home to Texas, it just made sense to welcome Kendall as the inaugural cruise director.
Very exciting. The world was curious to learn more about Carnival Jubilee, and we were hoping that something was going to be announced in the Q3 earnings call on September 29th.
Yeah, so we set our alarms, we joined the call. I mean, we are 3 months out from $1 billion investment that Carnival Cruise Lines is making for launching. And so we anxiously were waiting to hear more about the Carnival Jubilee. Well, I will tell you, in that entire hour, not once were the words Carnival Jubilee uttered. They did mention the new ship coming for the Costa, or the Carnival Fun Italian style from Costa Cruises next May, but they did not mention a word about Carnival Jubilee, which is a bit concerning. It's odd that this huge ship, this huge investment that the line is making, they talked about Celebration Key, which supports 2 Excel class ships.
Yeah.
There had been a great place to mention Carnival Jubilee. They talked at length about fuel efficiency and how the ships are becoming more sustainable. Carnival Jubilee is the 3rd LNG ship, so clean energy, clean fuel. Another great opportunity to bring up Carnival Jubilee. Not once did they mention that in the earnings call. And so it's been quiet outside of announcing the senior officers and the cruise director. And so we're holding our breaths. We are excited and hopeful. We're not going to speculate, but it was really odd that they didn't mention anything on the earnings call.
Yeah, very strange. And that brings us up to today. We are so excited about this launch of a new ship. Getting on the Carnival Jubilee, I know that there is going to be some amazing content. The new currents and shores is what I'm looking the most forward to seeing and hearing about.
But we are going to do a full ship tour for you. We're actually going to do the full ship tour before we even step foot on the ship.
Yes.
So that you can see, because guess what? There are some familiar favorites, and we have been on this class of ship now many times, many times. And so you're going to get a chance to do a ship tour based on the existing content from Carnival Celebration, Mardi Gras, and we're going to walk you through the entire ship with renderings of the new zones.
Yeah. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that content or the amazing things we've got coming of the Jubilee in December, make sure that you like this video,
hit that subscribe button,
and smash that notification bell.
Hey, and if you haven't already joined us for Sail Talk Saturday, it is our new series that we do every Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern.
Join us for Sail Talk Saturday. You can find that on our channel as well. We are excited to share all things cruise news and all things Carnival Jubilee with you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching this video, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
To celebrate the inaugural voyage, as mentioned earlier, I went out and I purchased this inaugural MS Jubilee book. Thank you, eBay.
So cool.
And the very first page in the book is from Mickey Arison, at the time president of Carnival Cruise Lines. Welcome aboard the superliner Jubilee. As you become acquainted with the Jubilee during this cruise, and as you read this book, we hope we will be able to convey to you a sense of the innovative concepts and features that inspired Carnival Cruise Lines to build this magnificent superliner, as well as the motivational forces behind the fun ship cruise experience.
Okay, now that's got me having goosebumps. I mean,
look at
okay,
look
whoa.
At the sauna. What in the world is going on in there? Oh gosh. I mean, this book has deck plans. It talks about the hairstyling salon and the spa experience, the funnel bar and grill, the original funnel bar and grill, who's who on board. It teaches us what all of those badges on the officers' uniforms mean. Just such a really cool book. I plan to bring this on the inaugural sailing for good luck.
So please bring a set of gloves. If anyone wants to look at it, you'll need to put on some gloves to be able to handle the book.
It's gotten its use over the past almost 30 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
No,
well,
almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's almost 30 years
That's
old,
true.
but she's in
Great condition.
Great condition. Okay.
Yeah.